This is Frank Morgan.
This is Lucille Ball.
And this is Hanley Stafford.
Tonight, Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players in Nothing But the Truth, starring Frank Morgan as Steve Bennett, Lucille Ball as Gwen Ralston, and Hanley Stafford as Gwen's brother, T.T. Ralston. Nothing But the Truth is a comedy of errors. And our first error was in casting Frank Morgan as Steve Bennett, who had to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth for 24 hours. Mr. Morgan may not be in the same league with Ananias and Baron Munchausen. Still, it's very doubtful that he could stick to nothing but the truth for 24 minutes.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Bradley. I heard that, and I demand a public apology. You, sir, were impugning my integrity when everyone knows that my entire family has been noted for its absolute truthfulness, no matter what the cost. Why, it was my great-great-uncle Ishmael Morgan who volunteered to go to Sing Sing prison to test the first lie detector.
Well, was the test a success?
Success? They hanged him the next morning. Of course, it was all a mistake.
Oh, naturally.
Certainly, he should never have taken the test. But that's just an indication of the lengths to which we Morgans will go in the interests of truth. I hope that answers your crude attempt to defame my character, Mr. Bradley.
I think the audience will understand what I had in mind, Frank. And now, if you'll permit us, we'll get back to tonight's play, Nothing But the Truth. When Gwen Ralston, the lovely sister of T.T. Ralston, arrived at the offices of the stockbroking firm of Ralston, Donnelly, and Bennett, both Ralston and Donnelly refused to see her. So Gwen walked right into Steve Bennett's office.
Hello.
What? Oh, why, hello.
I'm Gwen Ralston, Mr. Ralston's sister.
Well, don't apologize. I'm I'm his partner, Steve Bennett.
I know, Mr. Bennett. I've come to you because I'm in trouble. And you're the only man in the world who can help me.
I am? I am.
The only man in the world, Mr. Bennett.
Well, then let's just drop the formality. Just call me Stevekins. And sit on my lap.
Well, what if my brother should come in?
Well, he'll just have to stand. My lap won't hold the entire family.
Well, all right. Now, Stevekins, here's my problem.
Yeah.
I have $10,000.
Well, how can you have a problem with $10,000?
Well, I have to double it by tomorrow night.
Oh, I see. And you're trying to put the bite on me for the other $10,000. Maybe you better get off my lap and go back to calling me Mr. Bennett.
Oh, I don't want you to give me any money, Stevekins. I want you to invest this money for me in something that will double it by tomorrow night.
Well, now, that's quite a job of investing. Not that I can't do it, of course. Now, let me see. I might invest it in a poker game.
Are you a good poker player?
Am I a good poker player? Why, my dear, I've spent half my life playing poker, and I've got the pot to prove it.
Well, still, that's gambling. I'd rather put my money in something safe.
Safe? Why, my dear, my poker is does it have to be safe?
Oh, yes. If I don't double that $10,000, I'll be in an awful mess. You see, I owe the bank $20,000. It has to be paid by tomorrow.
Oh, then maybe we'd better consult with your brother and Mr. Donnelly.
No, I tried them yesterday. They won't help.
Oh,
they said nobody could double $10,000 overnight. They said even you couldn't.
Oh, they did they? Well, we'll show them. Do you happen to have the filthy stuff with you?
Yes.
Then give it to me, my dear. We'll show those upstart partners of mine who the financial genius of this firm is.
Do you really think you can do it, Stevekins?
Why, I've been responsible for the success of most of the world's famous figures. Why, It was I who advised Ford to go into automobiles, Rockefeller to go into oil, Hitler to go into Russia. Do you know anyone who needs a house painter? Now, just you go home and forget your troubles. Stevekins is going to double your money by tomorrow night.
Oh, I knew you wouldn't fail me.
Of course.
Do you mind telling me what you're going to invest my money in?
Not at all. I think I'll put some of it... one thing, and the rest of it, we'll something else. Did you send for me, Ralston?
Yes, Steve. Donald and I have been getting complaints about you.
That's right, Steve. You're a little overzealous in your selling. When our customers ask you whether a stock is good or not, they want you to tell them the truth.
Naturally, and that's what I tell them. You don't think for a second that I stoop to lying, do you?
Yes.
Well, that's ridiculous. You might as well call me a dirty crook.
Well, you are a crook.
But I'm not dirty.
Just the same, Steve, Ralston and I have decided that we'd better buy you out of the firm. We have to protect our reputation.
Are you serious?
Absolutely, Steve.
Well, you wouldn't consider giving me another chance, would you?
Oh, what's the use, Steve? We've been all through this a dozen times. You're always going to turn over a new leaf.
Well,
but when you do, there's a bigger lie on the other side.
But you can't just kick a man out of his business.
Who says we can't?
I don't know. But the War Labor Board must have some kind of a ruling to cover this. Now, look, fellas, if you'll just give me another chance, I promise you I'll never tell another lie.
Oh, that's an idiotic statement, Steve. You couldn't tell the truth for 24 hours if your life depended on it.
Now, just a minute, Donnelly. You wouldn't care to back that statement with a little money, would you?
I certainly would.
Say $10,000?
I'll take half of it, Donnelly. That's a sure thing.
Oh, he's bluffing. He hasn't got $10, much less $10,000.
Is that so? Well, take a look at this, gentlemen. 10 $1,000 bills.
Who'd you swindle that from?
Well, that's neither here nor there. It's $10,000. Do you still want to bet that I can't tell the truth for 24 hours?
The truth? The whole truth?
And nothing but the truth. If you win $10,000 and I get out of the firm. If I double, I win. I double my $10,000. And you cast no more aspersions on my integrity.
You'll tell the truth to everybody no matter what they ask you?
Yes.
Then it's a bet. $10,000 that you can't tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth for the next 24 hours.
That's right.
What time is it, Donnelly?
It's just 4 o'clock. Set your watch, Steve.
I'll set it. Until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, I'm telling nothing but the truth.
Then we're off. Let's test him, Donnelly.
Right.
What?
When you joined us as a partner, Steve, you told us that you made $40,000 last year. Is that the truth?
Oh, $40,000. No.
Huh?
How much did you make?
$1,100, counting my old age pension.
Did you ever steal anything?
Do I have to answer that?
Either that or forfeit the bet.
Well, then, yes, I did.
What'd you steal?
I stole some money.
Where did you steal it?
From a bank.
Well, how much money was it?
$50.
You stole $50 from a bank?
Yes, my little brother's piggy bank.
Is that all you stole?
Well, that's all there was in it. Now, if you gentlemen will excuse me, I think I'll go home and spend a nice, quiet weekend.
Oh, no,
with my...
Steve, no.
Uh-huh.
We're going to stay right with you every minute of the next 24 hours.
But there isn't room in my apartment for all of us.
I know that.
What?
You're going to spend the weekend on my houseboat.
Oh, well,
My sister will be there. She's very anxious to meet you, Steve.
Your sister?
Gwen.
When? Oh, no, well, I mean, I don't think I'd enjoy it, Ralston. Thanks just the same.
You're not afraid to meet Gwen, are you, Steve?
Well, no, that is, yes. I mean, under the circumstances.
Under what circumstances?
Well, the bet. I understand she's very attractive and having to tell the truth. Now, what man can meet an attractive girl and stick to the truth?
Well, you're trying to prove that you can tell the truth, aren't you?
Well, yes.
Then this ought to clinch it. Come on, Steve. You're going houseboating.
I didn't know there were going to be so many people here. Who are they all, Gwen?
Well, you know my sister-in-law, Cynthia Ralston, don't you, Steve?
Oh, yes.
What do you think of our houseboat, Steve?
Well, it smells a little fishy, doesn't it?
What?
Oh, Steviekins just meant it had an air of the sea about it.
Well, I'm glad you explained that, Gwen. You know, Steve, we really enjoy a life on the houseboat. It makes one so young and carefree and gay. In fact, I dread to think of life at 70.
Why? What happened then?
Steve, you don't know what you're saying.
Oh, yes, he does, Gwen. Steve insists on telling the truth. Especially when I'm around, don't you, Steve? Incidentally, Steve, what do you think of my wife's new dress?
Well, it certainly gives her an hourglass figure.
Did you say an hourglass figure, Steve?
Well, of course, the sand has shifted in a few places.
Gwendolyn, how can you stand this monstrous person?
I guess I didn't know him very well. Steve, apologize to Cynthia.
Apologize?
Yes. I want to hear you tell Cynthia she doesn't look a day over 30.
I want to hear that, too.
Well, she could pass for 30 with a paper bag over her head.